All right, middle of June, so we are here for another market update, and this is going to be running over the numbers through May of 2024. We're just going to hop right into it. Here we go. So going through May of 2024, we're going to compare that to May of 2023. We'll start things off here with the new listings that hit the market here in May of 24. That was 3,236 homes, single-family homes, hit the market in May. And that compares to May 23, that was 2,713. That represents an increase of 19.3%. So those of you who joined us last month, I think we had a 35% increase in April. So when you combine those 2 months back to back, inventory is really getting ramped up, which is really great for those of you who are looking to buy. It just means there's more options for you out there in the marketplace, which is always a good thing. The next one we're gonna look at is pending sales. And this is interesting as we compare to the next couple of categories. The pending sales in May of 24 was 2,375 as compared to May of 23, which was 2,203. That represents an increase of 7.8% pending sales in May, which is great to see. I mean, there are buyers getting out here and shopping. They're continuing to get out there and put more deals under contract. That was true for me and the buyers that I work with. I put a few under contract. But the next category is a little bit interesting after we see that. The closed sales in May of 23 was 2,223 compared to 2,293 in May of 23. So that was actually down 3.1%. So in other words, buyers were out there putting houses under contract in May, but they were closing a little bit less than that time last year. So it should be interesting to see what closed sales are looking like as we look at the June numbers. So all these pendings will have, many of which or most of which will have cycled. So maybe we'll see an uptick in closed sales in June as we do that update next month in July. All right, so the next one here is days on market until sale. Now, again, that represents the number from the day that a listing goes live until it gets an acceptable contract and goes under contract. If we look back to May of 23, the number was 37 days. And that is an average days on market, by the way. And then the average days on market in May of 24 went up a little bit, 4 days here to 41 days. That represents 10.8% increase. Not a ton in terms of overall days, but sellers can expect, it's going to take that amount of days to potentially sell their home if they're priced correctly and, positioned correctly in the marketplace. So what does that tell you? Well, if you're a seller, it's a good number to pay attention to, because as you start to exceed that number, you really want to start having a conversation with your real estate agent about, am I priced correctly? What's making my home not the obvious choice compared to, other comparable homes that are selling more quickly? A lot of times it is the price and just the overall positioning in the market. For buyers, what does that mean? Well, thankfully it means that buyers, we see those increase in inventory numbers. So it's not surprising that buyers are given the opportunity to spend a little more time in selecting the home that they want to purchase. So that's a good thing. Now, hopping into the next one here, median sales price. Here's what's interesting. Even though it's taken a little longer to get a home sold and buyers are taking a little more time and there's a lot more inventory versus this time last year, home prices, you'll see here, they are still going up a little bit, 1.6% year over year, from 260,000 even to 264,000. So that's great to see, because what that means is, believe it or not, we are not entering into any major crash or any crash at all, despite what every YouTube hysteria video might be telling you out there. It's not happening here. We're starting to kind of settle down a little bit, and we certainly over the last year or so haven't seen, those crazy increases we saw in, 21 going into 22, but they are still going up despite the options that buyers have out there. Now, the average sale price, I tend to find this number not nearly as useful personally, just because there's so many different reasons why the average could vary from that median. But that went up as well. So from 304,000 and some change to 305,000 and some change. And that represents an increase in 0.3%. Now, speaking of median and average sale prices and that increase in inventory that we're seeing out there for a greater selection for buyers, I should remind you that if you are looking to buy a home here in the Oklahoma City area, my name is Jonathan Knight and I'm a licensed realtor here in Oklahoma City. I'd love to help you. So you'll find my contact information in the description below. please feel free to shoot me a call, text, or email. I'll get right back to you. We'll have a conversation about, putting a plan together to get you in that perfect home here in OKC. All right, so the next metric is an interesting one. It is called the percent of list price received. Now, that is a number that represents the final sale number as a percentage to that original list price. And so that number in May of 2024 was 98.4% of the list price, and that's slightly down 0.2% versus 98.6% of that list price that sellers were getting in May of 23. Now that's pretty much dead even, but both are very high numbers. And so it's an interesting metric to look at to see how close to that original list price our home's actually selling at. And really pretty dead even on that one. Now the next one is called Housing Affordability Index. And without boring you with a ton of nearly algebraic equations, what I'll tell you about that is really it's a number that reflects, as you might guess, the affordability of homes. And it's as a reflection of, or sort of how it's compared to the median household income. So the important thing to know about this is really that 100, the number 100 represents basically when the median household income can pretty much exactly purchase the median priced home. So with that said, anything over 100 is a good thing. That means that homes are more affordable than they need to be. Now you will see that number is down 6.1% from this time last year, which was 115 is down to 108. And if you look over here on this column on the right-hand side, you're gonna see all the year-to-date numbers. And that's consistent with that across this year-to-date, which is down 6.7%. The good thing is that homes are still quite affordable here in Oklahoma City. And I know a lot of you living in different parts of the country, it is not that case where that number would not be over 100 for that housing affordability index. In fact, let me know where you're watching this from and just let us know a little bit about how affordable you think homes are in your state. So the next one here is just the inventory of homes for sale. It's the total inventory rather than sort of the new listings. And we've got a whopping 6,165 total homes for sale that were for sale in May of 24 versus 4,041 that were for sale in May of 2023. So that is up 52.6%. So talk about a lot more options for buyers out there. Again, if you're looking to buy a home and you really want to take advantage of a ton of options out there, or at least a lot more than there was this time last year, which again is a great thing, please give me a shout. I'd love to help walk you through some of those options. And really this last thing that we're gonna look at here is the month's supply of inventory. This is a really interesting number. This number represents the total number of months of inventory if we were to get no new listings to the marketplace, how long that inventory would last as a reflection of months. So that number was 2.1 months in May of 2023, and the length of time in months has gone up to 3.2 months here in May of 2024. So that represents 52.4% increase. So really we've got a lot more homes that would, if we didn't get any new listings, would last us here in 2024, which is a great thing. Once again, buyers are having more options available out there. And with that said, for a little perspective, analysts out there would really say that closer to 6 months is going to be kind of that balanced market between buyers and sellers. But anything over 3 months is really starting to look a lot more balanced. Well, guys, that's kind of a wrap here for the numbers through May of 2024. We'll do this again next month. And guys, as always, until next time, certainly hope to see you soon. See ya.